How's everyone doing? Today I have a horror Blu-ray collection update with 11 pickups. And if you've seen these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and let me know which one is your favorite. I've got some pretty awesome ones in here. A bunch of ones I haven't seen in a while, but definitely happy with these pickups. First up is one that I think is super underrated, and that is The Black Coat's Daughter. This is from A24 Studios. And I don't hear enough people talking about this one. To me, this is one of the better modern horror movies out there. Just incredibly creepy and atmospheric. Very simplistic plot with a twist that I feel like some people didn't get. And I don't know how, because I feel like it was, I don't know, pretty evident. And yeah, I guessed the twist even before it was fully revealed. Just because there's so many twists in movies, I feel like they're kind of formulaic. This one I didn't consider to be formulaic, but I like what they did with it, and I think it worked for the film. And I think the acting across the board was really strong, especially from Emma Roberts and then Lucy Boynton and Kiernan Shipka. It's basically about a girl who you're not sure if she's losing her mind or if there is a demonic presence, but they're in this all-girls prep school, and one of the girls is just kind of going crazy essentially, and then some violent acts start happening, and you see this car with these two parents, and they're going to the school, and they're talking about their daughter, and they meet another girl, Emma Roberts, and they basically she gets a ride from them, and they're talking to her about the daughter, and everything comes together, and again, just super creepy, super atmospheric. I absolutely love the heck out of it. Very dark and just eerie, and one that stays on your mind long after viewing. I love the heck out of Black Coat's Daughter, and I definitely think it deserves more recognition. And let me know what your favorite modern horror movie is, and let me know what your favorite underrated modern horror movie is. Next up is Tales from the Hood. This is a Scream Factory release. I've had this one for a bit, but I don't think I ever showed it. I was able to get it signed up right there by a bunch of people involved with the film, including the director, Rusty Cundiff, Corin Bernsen in here too. Corin Bernsen was one of my favorite segments in here. It's a great urban horror anthology movie. A lot of great memorable scenes in here too. And I love the David Alan Grier segment, which I was able to see his live stand-up performance, and I was able to get my old Laserdisc for Tales from the Hood signed up by him, so that was pretty cool. And there's more signatures on the back as well. And I love that classic artwork, but very cool, very happy to get this release. I'm looking forward to checking out all the special features in here, some new ones, including the making of and different interviews and stuff like that. And I like the newly commissioned artwork too, but to me that old school classic artwork is what I love. And again, a really good horror anthology and a good urban horror anthology movie. I know they actually just had a sequel that came out recently, although I've heard that the sequel was terrible. This one to me is a classic. Again, the Corin Bernsen one was probably my favorite, along with David Alan Grier. Those two are my favorites of the bunch right there. I like the wraparound story too, with the funeral home director right there, with Clarence Williams III. Awesome character. And let me know what your favorite horror anthology movie is outside of Creepshow, and let me know what your favorite Scream Factory release is too. And let me know what you'd like to see Scream Factory release in the future. Next up from Arrow Video is Brain Damage. This is an amazing release. I've checked out some of the special features, and it is just loaded with special features. Look at all that. Holy moly. And one of my favorite special features on here was they have a whole bunch of interviews and stuff like that too, and filming locations. But I'm trying to find on here where they have basically the super fan, and he shows his whole collection of you know, Almer and Brain Damage related stuff, and it's just amazing to see. There's just so many special features on here. It's hard to go through on there and find the one I'm looking for, but just a ton of special features, just amazing special features. And this is just a great cult horror movie from Frank Henenlotter from Brain Damage, Frankenhooker, and Brain Damage. Obviously, Basket Case is what I was meaning to think of, but basically there's like this weird parasite-looking creature, and right there, Almer, and he connects into his like his neck right there, and releases these fluids that give him like this high. And basically Almer has to feed, and he's killing people, and at first he doesn't realize it, what's happening here. And basically he has the host, and the host guy's unsure, Brian is his name, and he's unsure, he's fighting against it, and then he kind of succumbs to it, and he needs that high, that feeling again. There's some crazy scenes in here. Yeah, he didn't know what was going on, then he's totally opposed to it, And I like Elmer's song in here. I always remember that, and a nice booklet as well. That's a funny scene too in there. But again, I love Arrow Video's releases, from the transfer, the special features, the clear case, the newly commissioned artwork, individual artwork for the Blu-ray and DVD, the booklets, reversible artwork, just the complete package for physical media collectors, horror cult fans. They just do an amazing job, and I'm so happy that they're releasing here in the US. They were a UK-based company initially, and I know they have different licensing rights over in the UK than over in the US, because I would love to see some of the releases that they have in the UK released here in the US. And I always love when they have the booklets with all the inside information, behind-the-scenes photos and stuff like that, and a really nice slipcover, kind of like a soft matte finish with a little bit of gloss right there on the title, but really cool, entertaining cult horror film right there. I love the character of Elmer. Just a really cool Parasite. I like the movements and the songs and everything about it. It was just fully entertaining. Just an amazing release for it. Great job, Arrow Video. And let me know what your favorite Arrow Video release is, either here in the US or in the UK. And let me know what you'd like to see Arrow Video release in the future. Next up is The Unholy from Vestron Video Collector Series. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but basically there's these priests who are dying, and they were murdered at this church, St. Agnes Church, and basically the unholy, like this demonic spirit, is killing people, and it can only be stopped by the purest of mortal souls. And this one priest, Father Michael, is believed to be the spiritually blessed, so he has to go up against it. And of course, it's a red-haired woman at the end, and I feel like that's used so many times in horror movies. And the climax of this is just amazing. This is another one that's really creepy and atmospheric to me. And good performances all across the board. And I like it's digitally restored. I like what Vestron Video is doing. Although they have the recyclable cases, I understand it's great for the environment, but sometimes the cases don't always come in good condition with the recycled ones. It's a little bit easier to get messed up. But I like the slip covers for them, and I can't wait to see what they release in the future. I know Maximum Overdrive is coming out. Really excited for that one. I'd love to see them do The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer. Another really good release from Vestron Video. Some good special features too is another thing I really like from their releases. And let me know what your favorite Vestron Video Collector Series release is so far, and what you'd like to see them release in the future. Next up is another Scream Factory release, The Nest. This is a really good killer bug movie, one of my favorites and one of the best, I think, too. One of the things I remember is these cockroaches who are like mutating. They basically kind of mutate for what they eat, so they eat people at some times, and there's like this weird gross combination of, you know, human and cockroach. It's totally grotesque but awesome. I remember the video menu screen when you first put it in. It just has some really cool creepy scenes that always stuck out to me. But yeah, it's basically like this, I think it's like a small coastal town. You know, all the cockroaches are starting to kill people, and again, they're, you know, mutating, and they find out who's behind it, and there's a taste for blood for these cockroaches. But yeah, some of the parts that were the creepiest were to me when they are kind of that mutation of human and cockroach. But a great killer bug movie, Blu-ray DVD combo pack right there, and then some interior artwork, which I always appreciate. And I like the acting here too. I thought the acting was good. And of course there is a romance aspect. And yeah, Robert Lansing was in here too. A few other recognizable people. But yeah, really good killer bug movie. And let me know what your favorite killer bug movie is. There's so many great ones out there. A lot of entertaining, cheesy ones. I remember loving way back in the day Them, and then also Ticks is one of my favorites, definitely. One of my all-time favorite horror movies out there, and as well as one of my favorite killer bug movies. Next up is Stage Fright, probably one of the better modern horror musicals. I thought this was really entertaining. I was a little bit skeptical going in because I'm not that big into musicals, but I absolutely loved it. Great performances across the board, especially Ally McDonald, and Minnie Driver's in here, and Meatloaf too. Basically, these two kids, brother and sister, they are at this performance for their mother, Minnie Driver, who gets murdered, and then Meatloaf is like the stepfather. And it shows like years later after that happens, when they were, you know, little kids. Now they're a little bit older, and they're at his performing arts camp. And so basically they're performing there and putting on a play, and then this masked, like kabuki mask killer is killing everybody, and they have to fight to survive and figure out who the killer is and what the connection is. And it's just absolutely entertaining. It's kind of like a mixture of Sleepaway Camp, meets, well, just the camp aspect, not the twist or anything like that. Well, it says on the back here, it's Glee meets Rocky Horror Musical, which I can kind of see. I'm not a fan of Glee, but again, with the young kids and stuff like that, it's kind of, that works too. But I was going to say Sleepaway Camp meets like Rocky Horror-esque. But again, not the twist for Sleepaway Camp, just the camp aspect. And I really enjoyed the heck out of this one, a lot better than I was expecting it to be. And just caught me off guard with how good the musical sequences were, how entertaining it was, where it had some good thrills and suspense as well, and great acting across the board. I would definitely recommend this one. It's a fun time. Some comedic elements in there too. And let me know what your favorite horror musical is. Next up is from Vinegar Syndrome, Psycho Cop Returns. This one is a blast. Some, again, comedic parts here too. And this is from Adam Rifkin, who did Detroit Rock City. He's done a lot of great things. I really enjoy him, and a ton of special features on here. You can see right there. And I like the clear cases on these ones too, from Vinegar Syndrome. It's basically this crazy satanic worshipping police officer who is back and terrorizing people. He's kind of like he can't be killed, essentially. He overhears these two guys talking in I think it was like a diner, and they're gonna have this crazy after hours office party with drugs and booze and sex and all kinds of stuff. So he's going there to break it up, and he's killing people left and right. These people have to fight to survive, and there's some just crazy entertaining scenes in here. Again, some great comedic moments, some great thrills in here too, some hot chicks, so that's always good. But absolutely entertaining, and a great release for this one too. Blu-ray DVD combo pack. Psycho Cop Returns. And then next up from Vinegar Syndrome is another great release from them, Double Exposure. Absolutely love this one. Great mixture of like psychological horror, some giallo slasher elements too, mystery, intrigue, people being killed. It's about this photographer, and he's having these visions of these models who are being killed, and then he kind of like wakes from these visions and finds out that these models are actually being killed, and he's not sure what to believe and what is going on. He's trying to get to the bottom of what's happening, and I thought this was a really good, thrilling one, suspenseful one, and I like all the psychological elements here too, and a nice release for it. There's the reversible artwork on that one. And again, a ton of special features for them. Vinegar Syndrome's doing a great job with their releases too. A lot of cult films, a lot of films that didn't have releases before, and another really good one from them. And let me know what your favorite psychological horror movie is. Next up is The Boogeyman. This was an import, and it's from 88 Films. This is part of their slasher collection. Slasher Classics collection. This was an original UK video nasty, and it's from Uli Lamel. And yeah, this is this one right here. I don't know if it was really worthy of necessarily being a video nasty per se, but it was entertaining. It's basically about this crazy evil guy who's killed, and his like spirit gets trapped into this mirror, and the mirror breaks and it releases, and it's kind of like this unnatural force, this invisible entity killing people. I remember there was like a scene with these shards of glass like coming and killing people, and I remember this family is involved with how he ended up passing and the connection there, and I think they go to like their family home, and they're trying to get to the bottom of it. There's like a priest in here, and there's all these people being killed. I think somebody gets killed with a like a pitchfork too. It's been a while since I've seen this one. There's a cameo from John Carradine, and then there's Susanna Love is in here too. But this was definitely a really good one too, from 1980, and again, some good special features. And I wish a lot more of their releases would be region free. This is one of the few ones that I know of that is region free. And there's that artwork there too, reversible, which I like that aspect. I like the red cases too for these Slasher Classic collection. So yeah, I definitely like what they're doing as a company. I just want more of their releases to be region free. One of the things that I enjoy a lot about these companies, especially these horror companies doing, is the special features, which to me, that's one of the things, if I'm a fan of the movie, I really appreciate. You know, they got the interview with the director, Uli Lamel, and then you got the booklet in here. I love the spots. Reversible cover artwork is a nice added touch, and then the cases too. A lot of them have black cases, like Severn's doing a lot of the black cases now. Then the clear cases for a lot of the companies like Arrow Video, Vinegar Syndrome, a bunch of different Twilight Times doing it, and then you get the red cases for the Slasher Classics collection from 88 Films. Let me know where your favorite video nasty movie is. Next up is The Roommate. I held off on watching this for a long time, and I finally did, and I thought it was actually pretty good. It's in the same vein as like Single White Female, but kind of like a college aspect, and I thought the performances from Minka Kelly and Leighton Meester were really good. Very creepy and thrilling and suspenseful, and I love the climax to it. Much better than I was expecting it to be. There are some tropes there, but I think it still works. And it is very suspenseful. I was surprised by it. So basically, the one roommate becomes obsessive, and the other roommate finds out that she has a dark past, and just some really creepy moments. And who would have thought, a chick that hot would be that creepy? And I'm not a big fan of Cam Gigandet, but he was decent in here too, as the love interest. But yeah, the climax in here was awesome, and some good thrilling scenes and moments in here. Single White Female is getting a Blu-ray release coming up too from Scream Factory, so I'm looking forward to picking that one up. That's one I always enjoyed. Next up is Stepfather, the remake, and I held off on watching this for a long time because so many people crapped on it, and I thought it was really good. Not as good as the original, but I think it was very entertaining, very thrilling, very suspenseful. I really liked the lead actor in here. He was in Nip Tuck, and I thought he did a great job. Amber Heard is in here too. Trying to remember what Dylan Walsh, there you go. But he's basically this guy who moves around and kills the families, and he changes his name and his look a little bit. And I love the ending to this too. So creepy and freaky. And basically, they find out that he's been killing these people, and he's the family right there is the son, and he thinks something's up. He becomes involved with his mother and becomes the stepfather, and there's a creepy basement, and just the looks that he has is just totally creepy, and it's just unnerving and unsettling. There's always that sense of foreboding in there too, and I thought this was a really good one that gets some unfair criticism, I think solely because it is a remake, and everybody just kind of immediately wants to crap on remakes. I know I have a lot of ties to certain horror movies, and I don't necessarily want to see them remade, but I thought this was a decent remake, and gets unfair criticism, and I think it's worth checking out, and a good thrill ride, and I definitely love the ending to it. Very palpable as well. And let me know what your favorite horror remake is. So there you go. Those were my pickups right there. Nice stack of horror Blu-rays. If you've seen any of them, definitely let me know what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite right there. And hope everybody's doing well. Take care.